out. What family, what generation, what culture does not want better for their children?
When you were on our program previously, I think we had discussed that even when people are acting in damaging ways, such as being hurtful to their children, the goal isn't to damage. What's going on is a continuation of behavior that had been adaptive to its environment even after the environment had changed.
Exactly.
We'll continue with our interview with Dr. Joy Leary in just a moment.
Recognizing a wrong being committed in this country's name, insisting that we deliver on the promise of our Constitution. These are the acts of patriots, men and women who are defending what is best in America. And we should never forget that, especially when we disagree with them, especially when they make us uncomfortable with their words.
You're listening to Equal Time for Free Thought.
Right here on 99.5
FM WBAI New York.
Non-commercial, listener-sponsored.
Peace and Justice Radio.
I've talked about your work to many people, and something that comes up to me, whether I'm talking to people of color or I'm speaking to other white people, will be, well, why slave? Why? I mean, isn't that just kind of leaving out all? And I've pointed out what you said, that actually, if you read the work, it really does talk about the entire comprehensive experience to present day. But then the question is, well, okay, but then is the name possibly misleading? Is the name selling the work short?
No, I think it does. Okay, first of all, I think I would be in agreement with you. However, at this juncture, what I've done, because, again, the reason why I wrote post-traumatic in the first place, the whole reason why I wrote it, was to get to where we now are, at least where I wanted to be with the work itself. And that is, if we can point to a period in which we can have context, then let's now look at what we need to do right now. So my current work, which is basically under the heading of Be the Healing, is about the healing. So I've written the study guide. Matter of fact, it's available now, my study guide, which looks at, okay, so what business do we need to be about right now, given what we currently have on our plate? What is going on right now with African American people? What is required for us to move from where we are, given the cumulative impact of all of these things?
Right.
We're not going to debate that there is injury. It would be foolish to debate it.
Right.
But now let's take a look at where are we now and what are we going to do with the current generation and the generations to come so that we can somehow stop the hemorrhage and move into a more productive, when we look at this whole idea of the master's mentality, right, the impact of unearned privilege, of course there's sick pathology there. And that is work that needs to be done, and I think in some ways it's being done because, my goodness, isn't it coming out of the hiding places today?
Right.
What we didn't want to believe about how, in fact, racist this country is and unwilling to accept the fact that we live in an incredibly diverse world, and we folks got to share it.
I saw Bill Maher's HBO program this week. They gave me a free month of HBO because I'm so aggravated with the service. I normally don't have HBO, but they gave me a free month. So I got to see shows I never get to see, and I was really taken back that Bill Maher was saying some things that I've never heard white people say on the air. He was saying, if our president was not black, there is no way that someone would have contradicted him and yelled out liar during an address. And if our president was not black, there's no way that some of the parents of the school children that he was addressing would have distrusted what he's going to say to them and kept their children out. So it's so clear and evident that even people who you wouldn't think would get it are getting it.
Here's the thing that's so amazing. And like I tell you, I wouldn't do this work if I didn't believe it was possible. I mean, I really wouldn't. I'd go on and find myself some place to go fish. Because I like fishing. I can find a little place somewhere where I can go fish and garden, and I'd be done. But I really do believe and it's going to be difficult. We got a long way to go, and it's going to be a very difficult journey for us. But I think what is required for people to open up their eyes, to wake up, to see it, and again, I've watched it happen with people, white people who are kind of going, you know what, I was okay up until this point, but I'm not signing on for that, because that's really blatant and crazy, and I don't want to be associated with it. People are standing up. And I think in the past, people could very quietly, I call it when people pass. You pass for a racist, even though you're not. Right. You know what I mean? In other words, you pass. You decide, well, I'm just not going to say anything. Right. And then that way I won't upset anybody. No one will really know. Right. So you really pass. Mm-hmm. You say, well, so long as because that white privilege allows folks to just check out and go, I don't have to deal with this. But right now it's becoming harder and harder to maintain that position of privilege which says I'm not going to weigh in. Now it's affecting too much of my life for me to now, weigh in. And I'm watching people with good conscience, sincere people and even people who have been ignorant before, they go, you know what, this isn't okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting ready to weigh in. I'm going to weigh in politically. I'm going to weigh in terms of schools. I'm going to weigh in with my crazy family. I'm going to weigh in with my next door neighbor. I'm going to weigh in because this is not okay, and I'm not going down that road. Right. So I don't know if it's the level of stress all of us are feeling in the country right now that is prompting people to say, I'm mad as hell and I'm not taking this anymore. I'm not certain. Right. But I do know that I am seeing that. I am, and that is encouraging.
It is true that in times that are darkest times, you have to take sides, and people are taking sides. It's just really scary because it's still not clear where most of the country is going to fall.
I agree. It is. It can get to be a little scary sometimes.
You seem to have a comprehensive view of the problem because you're looking at the ways in which white people not dealing with it also diminishes our humanity and also is hanging over us. I mean, as Tim Wise mentions in his work, how there's no small part about this not wanting to insure the 55 million uninsured Americans. No small part of it is racism, because goodness knows that we don't want any lazy people who don't deserve, to get, insured.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you can see it real clear when it comes down to the when all you got to do is mention immigrants and somebody kicks. It's just a reflex. And
of course. That's what I also have such respect for Tim and his work.
This isn't a matter of, let's do something altruistic for other people. No, this is really about the victors in a society that is built on people's backs. They're enslaved in their own way, and their humanity has to be diminished. Your sensitivity.
Exactly. Why is that difficult to wrap your head around? I mean, is that concept difficult to understand that you have in some ways diminished your own humanity by not seeing and not engaging and not understanding and not embracing? I mean, that just seems like really pretty straightforward.
Well, you know why I think it's so difficult? Back to religion. Because if religion says that deep down inside we're all sinners, we're antisocial, we're lazy, greedy, selfish, then the idea of when one person totally exploits another doesn't seem so egregious.
What I understand of the virtues that most religions would share, that would be the antithesis considered spiritual. I mean, come on.
Well, no, it's completely consistent. They're saying that but for opening your heart to God and letting go of your base human instincts, you are going to be this antisocial, exploitive brute. And I think that when you tell people that that's your essence, people believe it. And I think that social scientists like yourself really have been saying a different message. They've been saying, no, you know what? When people are fully developmentally the beneficiaries of having their needs met in all the ways that are significant, emotionally and intellectually and physically, we can count on people to have the humanity to reach out and to care about others. And again, people do. Our show deals with religion, and we often will see many times that the religious explanation for what motivates human behavior in terms of free will and choice will often really obfuscate all of the other determinants that need to be acknowledged. And it's no accident that in the C-SPAN interview that alerted me to that book, Sugar of the Crop, Sana Butler, the author, was being interviewed by one Christy Taylor, who has the Living Life seminar where the first 10 principles have the word 4 of them have the word God in it and your God potential.
Okay.
And it just seems like, okay, that's no coincidence because they're coming, they're coming from this place of will and choice, and it's all like opening up your heart to God and
right.
And that's magic.
Oh my God! It's just such a dangerous road because and again, as I've said, I think we talked before is what role in fact has religion played in so much of this stuff. I mean, and the more I look, the more deeply embedded some of this stuff. Slavery almost single-handedly funded the Episcopal Church. I think that, honestly, there is, we are out of balance on so many different levels. And everyone is looking for the trap door. They're looking for the rationale, the way out. And I just don't think that you can do that. There's no trap door. You can't get out of this. We have to begin to deal with each other squarely and honestly. And regardless of whatever your belief system is, your religious belief or whatever it is that, your own ideology, there are some basic, sensible human realities that we all have to come to grips with. We shut folks down or we shut people out for whatever reason. And my contention is, listen, we need to all stay in the room. Wait a minute, don't go out. Everyone needs to show up in the room.
Right.
And we need to figure out how to do that. You don't have to become me. I don't have to become you. But we do have to stay in this room and work this crap out. We got to do that.
The room's all we got. The room's all we got, and we have to figure out how to be here together.
That's the bottom line. That's at the end of the day. That's what we got to figure out what to do and how to do it.
Well, I thank you so much.
And you take care.
Be well.
You've been listening to an interview with Dr. Joy DeGruy. Tune in next week for another installment of Equal Time for Free Thought. And if you're a listener member of WBAI, please remember to vote in our local station board election, which is taking place right now. At this pivotal time in our station's history, we desperately need to make sure that free thought remains represented. I'm Arnel Del Rey, and tonight our program has been engineered by the incomparable Sean Rhodes. Special thanks to our researcher, Joel Schlossberg, to our founder, Sarah Kay, and to Bridget and Valerie Del Rey for our intro and station ID. Stay tuned for the golden age of radio, and remember to tune in, pay it forward, and question everything. Good night.